Our hearts pump blue and yellow. My tears flow blue and yellow as I watch, hope, and pray for Ukraine, as a story as old as humankind is once again brought to bear. Ever since we stood up straight and formed into tribes, one has tried to oppress the other. All too often, the oppressed have lingered in servitude for years. Every so often, a stand for freedom is made. Sometimes it's an individual, Gandhi, Mandela, King, causing the injustice to be reflected back upon society. Sometimes it's a young girl, Yusuf, standing against the tide of oppression. And sometimes a nation, America, Britain, Ukraine, says no more. We will fight for our freedom or leave the ground stained with our blood. The tribes have gotten larger and far more dangerous, but the story stays the same. Today, my heart pumps blue and yellow. Once again, those weak of heart but large in number brutalize those small in number but strong of heart. And we weep for the mother and child, the old man and woman, the young fighter who will not see another day. But we also lower our heads and shed a tear for our own destiny. Despite a long history written in blood, we insist on a new chapter with the same old story. And we watch and we hope and we pray as our hearts pump blue and yellow. Freedom is a single spiritual force that extends to all humans. If you darken it anywhere, you darken it everywhere. It is one of the inalienable rights endowed by our Creator and paid for many times over in blood. Yet the bill comes due once more, and our hearts pump blue and yellow. And when one person fights for freedom, they fight for everyone's freedom. A man stands in front of a tank, and the world feels his power. A woman demands her rights, and a dark fog is lifted. A Ukrainian pays with his life, and we are all reminded what a fragile gift freedom is, and our hearts pump blue and yellow. A small and weak man with beady eyes pulls the trigger and shatters the peace, joining the long possession of Satan's stooges. Having accumulated power but lacking the intellect or strength to use it properly, to build and advance humankind, he does what all wretched weak fools do. He smashes and breaks that which far greater people have built. He will go to hell, but not as an honored guest, for he has no honor. Instead, he will go to serve and spend eternity in the dark depths of his diseased mind, leaving behind the sorrow he has brought onto this land, as our hearts pump blue and yellow. His long march of evil is evident. His government corruption, the theft of its treasury, the assassination of his opponents, the pattern is there for all to see. The attack on Georgia, the annexation of Crimea, the disinformation campaign, and the outright lies. The belief that might makes right, except it doesn't. Right lies with the brave souls fighting and bleeding for freedom, and for them our hearts pump blue and yellow. We find ourselves with a history we know all too well. Still, we play it out on an endless loop. The evil, the obedient, and the ignorant, with their large numbers and nuclear knife held to the world's throat, force the brave, the patriotic, and the honorable people to defend their homes, their land, and most precious, their children. Speak out and condemn the evil, chastise the ignorant, and support the brave. They fight not only for their freedom, but for our future freedom. Our hearts pump blue and yellow as our tears flow for the loss of the innocent.